Good morning, Minnesota! Welcome to the Rachel Radcliffe Show. And here's your host, Rachel Radcliffe!
Hello, everyone. I love you all. Welcome. Today's show is going to be extra special. Today, we have none other than one of the newest, most talented young authors of our time, author of the #1 book on the New York bestsellers list, Turn Off the TV. Please welcome Mr. Michael Teavee. Michael, so wonderful to have you on the show. How are you?
I'm just fine, Rachel. Thank you for having me. You look lovely today.
Oh, you charmer. Now, the first thing you may notice about Mr. Teavee is that he's an astonishing 9 feet tall and super thin. What's your secret, Michael?
Oh, trust me, it's not for everyone.
Oh, I can name a few people who would kill for your figure, Michael. So, Michael, tell us about your new book.
Well, it's titled Turn Off the TV. It's my autobiography, detailing the story of my life and how I got to where I am today.
You're 19 years old, and already you have an autobiography. Would you indulge us and read some of your book?
All right. Chapter 1. My name is Michael Teavee. I was a television addict, a rebel, and a fool. I was a golden winner, and this is my story. Growing up in a small nowhere town in Minnesota, it seemed that I was predestined for an uneventful suburban lifestyle. My mother, Margaret Teavee, being a teacher of geography, had a very stressful and difficult life in front of her, especially with her newborn son. Her husband, John Teavee, was recently deceased. Being a single mother with a stressful job and a crying child to tend to must have been so hard on her. So much so that she tended to head to her flask multiple times a day. When she couldn't care for me, the first thing she would do was plop me in front of the television. I can still remember my first TV show. It was a rerun of Walker, Texas Ranger. It became my favorite show. Of course, as I got older and more curious about what else TV had to offer, my palate for the cable-ready world expanded. I would spend all my time watching aimless amounts of television, learning and soaking in all it could teach me, even things that weren't ideal. My mother didn't mind, as long as her son was safe and she could keep going to the bottle. There were times where my mother would be gone for days at a time with a new guy friend every week, but I didn't care. As long as I had my TV, I had everything I needed.
Mikey, I'm going out tonight. Be a good boy. There's food in the fridge.
Whatever, you old hag!
Love you too, Mike.
My attitude towards my mother was deplorable. We barely spoke, and as long as I didn't bother her and watch my TV, she couldn't care less. As I grew older, my love for TV and violence grew. Worse yet, I discovered the treasure trove of media that was video games and the internet. The internet fueled my brain with all sorts of unnecessary knowledge that seemed to make me believe I was smarter than everyone around me, which was entirely false. Video games, on the other hand, satisfied my want for violence as I became a competitive online gamer. The game I played most was War Crimes, an MMORPG that lets you shoot people, steal cars, and even start wars. Die! My lust for violence and knowledge was a deadly combination. It only drove me and my mother further and further away from each other. Then, one day, while I was watching the news, and my mother happened to be watching with me, After stressing about the mortgage payment and the pile of bills in her hand, most of which were because of me, Willy Wonka's contest was announced. Initially, I had no interest. Chocolate just seemed stupid to me. However, my mother's interest was piqued.
Mikey, that Wonka contest sounds pretty neat, huh?
Hell no! Chocolate's dumb and contains too much fat and sugar for anybody. You'd have to be a walking diabetes factory to win that stuff.
Augustus Gloop has just found the first golden ticket.
I eat more candy!
See?
But Mike, if you did win the contest, we'd be shown around Wonka's factory, a place nobody has seen for decades. Think of all the candy-making secrets we could discover in there. And think of what people would pay just to see those secrets.
I had never heard my mother sound so devious in my life. This was not like her. She never cared about anything that didn't come in a glass bottle. However, the thought of selling all of Wonka's secrets and making tons of money doing it sounded so sweet. And how are we gonna do that, huh?
Wonka's the best candy maker in the world. There isn't a competitor alive who wouldn't want to know what every secret trick he has, and they would pay big money to find out. Now, I know you like to tinker in your room.
It's not tinkering, it's inventing, stupid.
Mike, calm down. All I'm saying is that maybe you could tinker, invent a mini camera that can take pictures and videos as we go. Then we take the camera, auction off the footage, and find the highest bidder. We'll be rich!
Yeah, I could do that. It shouldn't be hard to crack the codes of those bars to find the ticket. That stupid chocolate man's secrets will be exposed and I'll get millions of dollars? Count me in! How am I gonna get a hold of those Wonka bars, though?
I got it! Your cousin Veronica, the one that works at the mall. She can get her hands on some boxes of Wonka bars. She owes me a few favors anyway.
I had heard of Cousin Veronica. Jailed several times for petty crimes. She'd be perfect to get us some Wonka bars, I thought. And that's just what she did. Before I knew it, we had several cases of Wonka bars show up at our doorstep. Mother was pretty useless after that, so I had to figure out which bar had the ticket, which in itself was a no-brainer. All you had to do was check the manufacturing dates, offset by the weather, and the derivative of the Nikkei index. Simple. I did that while working on inventing a mini camera for the tour. Cousin Veronica was arrested yet again, but not before we got our last case of Wonka bars. I finally found a golden ticket after searching nearly 321 bars. Around the same time, I had finished the camera. A tiny round black machine I could pin to the chest of my shirt. I knew to wear a black shirt so the camera would blend in perfectly. As soon as word spread that I found the golden ticket, I was hounded by the press. This was another aspect I liked about this plan. I was going to be on TV. I was going to be famous. I was interviewed left and right, but they did it all while I was watching TV or playing my games, and my 13-year-old mind couldn't be bothered. Of course, my mother was also soaking in the fame and TV time as well. Nevertheless, we were ready. We were going to expose Wonka and make millions doing it.
Now, Mike, be on your best behavior and stick to the plan.
God, whatever! Jeez! The big day had come at last. Wonka opened his factory to me and 4 other children. Our first stop was the chocolate room, where everything was edible and breakable. I loved smashing and crushing things just for the fun of it. And that's just what I did.
Mr. Teavee, I must ask that you be gentle with my candy.
You said enjoy. This is how I enjoy your stupid candy.
Mike! So sorry, Mr. Wonka. He'll behave. Make sure you're taking pictures of all this.
Mom, shut up! I'm getting all of it. Just have another drink and leave me alone. As I walked away, that's just what she did. Leave it to my mother to bring alcohol to a candy factory. As we moved on, the chubby kid fell into the chocolate river, which I thought was pretty funny. Then we got onto this sticky pink boat to the inventing room. This room I actually found pretty neat. All this massive amount of technology was only used to make stupid candy? Speaking of massive, that bratty gum chewer turned blue and blew herself up into a huge globe. Again, I thought it was funny. I even poked her while she swelled. After that, we went into a room with a bunch of squirrels and they attacked the loud British brat and her father. Now that was hilarious. These kids were dropping off one by one. I didn't know if they were getting killed or not, but I thought they deserved it. I thought they were just a bunch of idiots. All the while, my camera was taking silent pictures of everything that happened on the tour. With all the outlandish, impossible things we'd seen, we were gonna make some serious bank. After the nut room, Wonka had decided to take us into a new room that he'd been working on recently.
This room is very special and very experimental. I must ask all remaining guests to please put on these protective goggles to shield your eyes from any bright flashes.
Goggles? It's so stupid.
Mike, that's enough.
Oh, don't worry, Mike. I get the feeling you're going to love this room.
I read the sign on the door. It read, Wonka Vision Room. I begrudgingly put on my dark goggles and entered the room with everybody else. The room was a blinding pure white. The little orange people were dressed in white suits and wore goggles as well. In the middle of the room was something that looked like a giant gun turret. It was a giant TV camera. On the leftmost wall of the room was a giant mass of different screens, each one showcasing a different TV show or cartoon. One little Oompa Loompa was sitting in a recliner, watching everything with a remote in his hand. Needless to say, I was kind of impressed.
Welcome to Wonka Vision, my latest and greatest experiment.
It's television!
It's Wonka Vision. Now, I'm sure you're all aware of how regular television works.
Hell yeah! You photograph something, and then the photograph is split into millions of tiny pieces, and they go whizzing through the air down to your TV set where they're all put together again in the right order.
You should open your mouth a little wider when you speak. You tend to mumble. Anyway, so I thought if television can do that with a picture, then why can't I do the same thing with a bar of chocolate? Bring it in.
The Oompas toddled in carrying a gigantic chocolate bar as huge as a chalkboard. What were they going to do with it? Why was it so big?
Of course, the chocolate has to be large in size so that it will be normal-sized on the other end of the screen. I can see the commercial now. Wonka's candy is the best in the world. If you don't believe us, try one for yourself. And then you just reach in and take it. Pretty simple, right?
That sounds incredible!
Yeah, right. Like you could actually take chocolate from a TV.
Watch.
Wonka then went to the big camera in the middle and pressed a big button.
Lights! Camera! Action!
A huge flash blinded everyone in the room. The sound of crackling electricity fizzed through the walls. Chocolate was gone in a blink. Just like that.
What? Where'd it go?
It's flying over our heads in a million pieces.
Mother was drunk enough to actually look above her head as if the fragments of the image were actually visible. The little guy in the recliner kept pressing buttons on the remote and pointed at the largest middle screen. It was blank, but slowly an image was beginning to fade in. It was the Wonka bar.
Mike, take the Wonka bar, please.
Don't be stupid. You can't take it. It's just a picture.
Fine. Charlie, you take it.
Charlie reached his hand towards the screen and his fingers reached in and pulled out the Wonka bar. No! It was impossible! How could he televise solid matter?
It's real!
Go on, eat it. It's the same bar. It's just gotten smaller along the way.
It's perfect!
It's unbelievable.
It's a miracle!
It's Wonka Vision.
It was remarkable, to say the least. This was it. My curiosity had never been stronger. Screw selling Wonka's secrets. With this thing, I could be famous all on my own. I could live in TV! Hey Wonka, could this machine send anything to a TV other than candy?
Anything you'd like.
What about people?
Now, why would I want to send a person? They don't taste very good.
Don't you realize what you've invented? It's a glorified teleporter! You could do so many things with this! But no! All you care about is chocolate!
Mike, settle down. Mr. Wonka knows what he's doing.
No, he doesn't! You all think he's some kind of genius, but he's an idiot. Well, I'm not. I'm gonna show the world just what this thing can do.
Mike, honey, remember the plan.
Get out of my way, you old hag! I shoved my mother aside as I rushed to the camera, pressing the button real quick and standing in front of the lens.
Now be amazed, losers! I'm gonna be the first kid in the world to be sent by television! I'm gonna be a star!
Stop. No. Come back.
Mike, no!
Oh, Lord, here we go again.
Lights, camera, action!
What I felt in that millisecond of that moment I cannot describe in mere words. My entire reality was shifting before my eyes. Various colors and shapes unknown to man became known to me. My body disconnected from everything that it once held. My world was no more. It was replaced by blinding colors and flashing screens. I was scared and yet also happy. I was staring into a world that was far beyond anything I could comprehend. Again, this was only for a second. As my vision regained itself, I could see what looked like gigantic cooking pots as tall as houses, chopped vegetables and meats that were as big as me. Why was everything so huge? And why was that giant woman raising a knife towards me?
Giant butcher knife, and then we just cut the nearest thing. And
Change the channel. Quickly.
A button pressed, and everything changed with a blink. I was no longer in an oversized kitchen. I was now in what looked like a weird cartoon. Then I saw this cartoon dog growl at me before pulling out a large mallet out of thin air and trying to slam it on me. I ran for my life while the animated backgrounds behind me kept repeating as I ran. Blink! Another channel change. This time, I was swimming in the ocean. Finally, something calming.
welcome to Shark Week on Animal Planet.
Was that my voice? It sounded so high-pitched. What was going on? Blink! Blink! I kept flipping through channel after channel, nearly getting killed by every program. Then the screen went black. Not me, though. I looked in front of me, and there stood the giant faces of Wonka, my mother, and the poor kid and his grandpa. My mother's giant fingers reached through the screen and plucked me out. It was then that I realized that everything didn't get bigger. I was shrunk. No more than 2 inches. It was not only a teleporter, but it's a shrink ray, too.
Oh God, Mikey! What have you done to my boy?
He's shrunk to fit the screen. Thank heavens he's completely unharmed.
You call that unharmed?
Well, I say it's too good for him.
Grandpa!
Just put me back through the other way!
There is no other way. It's a television, not a telephone. There's quite a difference.
What do you propose we do about this?
Good question. I've never had this happen before. Well, they say that little boys are extremely springy. We'll run him through the taffy puller. That'll stretch him out.
Taffy puller? You're insane!
I try my best. You there. Take Mrs. Teavee and her little boy to the taffy puller. And be careful, otherwise you might pop a bone or two.
Oh God!
Adieu, Mrs. Teavee. Parting is such sweet sorrow.
What do you get from a glass of TV? A pain in the neck and an IQ of 3. Why don't you try simply reading a book? Or could you just not bear to look? You'll get no commercials. Oompa loompa doompa dee da. Turn off the TV and you'll be a star. You will live in happiness too, like me. Oompa loompa doompa dee doo.
I was grabbed by the Oompa Loompa's gloved hand and huddled off to a room far across the Wonka Vision room. My mother cried all the way, though, frankly, I think she was more upset that our spy plan failed. The camera that was pinned to my body fell off at some point during the televisation process, but that was the last thing on my mind. I was still reeling from what had happened to me. All the things I'd seen, all the constant close calls with my life. What was I thinking? I was tampering with forces I couldn't comprehend. Now I was 2 inches tall and about to be put through a taffy machine. It was all my fault. The taffy machine. That wasn't even the worst thing I experienced, but it was certainly the most painful. My body was stretched every which way by cold metal rods. My entire body thinned out like a pancake. I said nothing. I didn't even scream. My mother did the screaming for both of us. Soon after, it was time to leave the factory. I couldn't feel any more pain. My body was numb. I looked down at my tearful mother while she had to look up at her new 9-foot-tall son, who was flat as cardboard. As we left the factory, through its back exit, we saw some other children and their parents also leaving the factory. They all survived, but were all scarred in some way or another. Augustus was 100% chocolate. Not an inch of him was flesh anymore. Violet was still blue and slightly plump, but she was doing handstands and cartwheels on the way out. She was super flexible. Veruca and her dad were just completely coated in hot garbage. Both looked absolutely livid. I wanted to feel angry as well. However, I couldn't. I just couldn't get my mind off what I saw and how, if it weren't for my stupid arrogance, I'd be normal. Each of our families had a secret plane to fly us to our respective homes. When I got home, my mother tried to coddle me and make sure I was alright because I hadn't spoken since the incident. First thing she tried to do was turn on the TV.
Something a burglar would not
No, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off!
God, Mikey!
I didn't want TV. Not then. Not ever again. TV did this to me. After that, I ran to my room and locked myself inside, bumping my new flathead on the doorframe and ceiling. For days, I just lay on my bed like a piece of paper. Not eating, only drinking water to not die of thirst. One day, I decided to do something to get rid of the depression, but what? I was never going to turn on the TV, my game system, or my computer ever again. So, what else was there? I looked on my shelf, and there, in a dusty corner, was an old dictionary my grandmother had given to me for Christmas one year. Maybe books would be okay. Everyone always said how good reading was. Maybe I could try it. I read the whole dictionary in a matter of 3 days. I came out of my room to my mother's delight.
Mike! Oh, honey, you're okay.
Hey, Mom? Can we maybe go to the library?
Mike, are you feeling all right? Let me feel your forehead. Bend down.
Mom, I'm fine. I just want to read. Please?
Oh, Mike. That's the first time you ever said please to me. Let's get you some books, honey.
And from that day on, I just kept reading, soaking in book after book. My mind was racing with so many thoughts. I was thinking clearly for the first time in my life. I read all the greats: Shakespeare, Tolstoy, Fitzgerald, Plato, Dahl. All of the written word was at my disposal, and I loved it. I soon applied my reading to schoolwork. My test scores began to skyrocket. I was getting perfect grades and skipping grades as well. By the time I reached 16, I was already being accepted into college. It was there that I found the motivation to join the great writers of our times and pen down my memoirs, to share with the world what I have learned on my journey after the factory. Thank you.
Oh my stars, Michael. What a gripping story. So, do you have any hard feelings towards Wonka Industries?
Actually, no. In fact, I wish I could thank Wonka for teaching me the most valuable lesson I could ever learn. I just hope the other children have found their way and are living the best they can. Of course, that was just a summarized version. If you want the full story, just pick up a copy of my book.
Which everyone in the audience will get a copy of! Woo! Thank you so much, Michael, for being on the show. We'll be right back after the break.
And we're clear. All right, take 5, everybody. Somebody get Rachel into makeup.
Oh, Mikey, I'm so proud of you. Mwah!
Mother, please, not in front of the audience.
You've really come into your own, Mike. You've become a great man.
Honestly, if it wasn't for Wonka, I'd still be the old me. He made me who I am today.
No, Mike. You did.
Phone call for you, Mr. Teavee.
Thank you. Hello?
Hello, Mike. It's been a while. This is Charlie. Charlie Bucket.
Charlie, from the factory. This is... Wow. This is certainly unexpected. I mean, how are you?
I'm doing fine, Mike. I read your book. It was very well done.
Thank you. So, what brought you to call me like this? Not that I mind at all, it's just unexpected.
Well, I'd like to extend to you an invitation to Wonka's factory. I'll be there, and so will the other winners I've invited. A little reunion of sorts.
Oh, well, sure, I guess I can stop by for a bit.
Oh, good. We'll all meet up in 1 week. Can't wait to see you all. Bye.
Bye. Charlie, what are you up to?